Good morning, students. Once again, I welcome you all in this online session of biology. And students, as you all know, we are discussing about natural resources in this chapter. We have so far discussed about the atmosphere, the lithosphere and the hydrosphere, which all together constitute the biosphere where we all are living. Now in continuity with that, from today we are going to start with the biogeochemical cycles. Now what are these? These are the transfer of matter and energy between the biotic and abiotic components of atmosphere. These are the biogeochemical cycles. Now mainly we have, mainly we have four biogeochemical cycles with us, that is water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle and oxygen cycle. Out of these, water cycle you know very well, but we'll discuss them all, and starting with the water cycle, which you already have the previous knowledge with you. From junior classes you are studying about the water cycle. So you know that evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and these are the steps of water cycle, right? So again in brief, I am just briefing the cycle. When water bodies, they are heated during the day, a large amount of water evaporates. That is the first process, evaporation, right? And it rises up. Now some water vapor, it also gets to the atmosphere from the processes like transpiration from the plants, the removal of excess water. Now as the water vapor rises, it cools and condenses to form the tiny droplets in the atmosphere. Now when these appears as clouds, and when these all together, they mix together, they combine together, they form the big droplets. And then when they become too heavy, they fall down as the rain or hail or snow, whichever according to the place they takes the form, right? Mostly in our areas we have seen the rains. So this water flows from land to the sea. It carries many nutrients and minerals which are used by marine organisms. So this is also a benefit. So very simply, you know the water cycle: evaporation, then condensation, then precipitation. Fine. So water cycle is very simple one. Figure is also there, and from the junior classes itself, many a times you have drawn the water cycle. So I don't think I need to explain it. You can draw it without telling you. Now the next, that is very important cycle, is the nitrogen cycle. How the nitrogen is cycling in the biosphere. Now the nitrogen in the atmosphere, it is fixed into nitrogen compounds in the soil by nitrogen fixing bacteria. You must have heard about rhizobiums, yes, which are there in the root nodules of leguminous plants. Yes, they have the property to fix the nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen. Then this atmospheric nitrogen, it is fixed by these rhizobium bacteria in the roots of leguminous plants. Then these are taken by plants and they are used to make the proteins. When the animals eat these plants, they get the proteins and they convert the protein into nitrogen compounds again, like nitrites and nitrates. You know the nitrogen compounds. Other bacteria, they also convert these nitrogen compounds back into the atmosphere when the animal dies. Like this, the nitrogen cycle continues, and it is an essential component of biological molecules like proteins, nucleic acids and some vitamins. So nitrogen is a very important part, and the cycle is very simple. Fixing by the rhizobium bacteria in the root nodules of leguminous plants. You must have heard the example of symbiotic relationship. Yes, that is the bacteria and the plant. The bacteria gets the food and the plant is also getting benefited. And in crop rotation also you must have heard about the leguminous plants. They are used in crop rotation only because the bacteria fix the nitrogen and they make the soil fertile by these plants. That's why after every plant the farmers used to grow a leguminous plant. Okay, so this is the nitrogen cycle. Now the pictorial representation, just see the nitrogen in atmosphere, it is fixed by nitrogen, the bacteria, then it is taken up by the plants, then the plants are eaten up by the animals, then these atmospheric nitrogen, it is these proteins, it is converted to nitrites and nitrates, and when the animal dies, it again get mixed in the soil, and by the other bacteria and organisms, it is converted to again this form, and then again it comes in the atmosphere, again the cycle continues. That is nitrification and denitrification. These two terms you should remember. Nitrification when nitrogen is added, and denitrification when it again breaks down and comes to the atmosphere. These two terms are very important. More we'll go through it in the book also, and more of this we'll discuss in the live class. Okay. So that's it for today. See you in the next class with the next two cycles, that is carbon cycle and oxygen cycle. Till that time, do complete your works and keep on revising for your assessments. Thank you and have a great day.